Okay. Mr. President?
Senator from Oklahoma.
Let me do three things real quickly. One is a request, one's an apology, and one is the truth. On the request, I ask unanimous consent that Chuck Rodalock, a legislative fellow in Senator Flake's office, be granted floor privileges for the remainder of this year.
Without objection.
Secondly, an apology. You know, I'm very fortunate that I've had the same staff for 21 years in the United States Senate. They have never made a mistake. My staff has never made a mistake until last Friday. And last Friday, I was informed by my staff we had 3 votes starting at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 votes, and yet there are 3. So I'm the guy that came down thinking I had already voted, and so I apologize to the leader, I apologize to the staff that was working, and more than anything else, I apologize to the guys down here in the front row, our pages, who had to stay up another 15 minutes at 4 o'clock in the morning because of me. Okay? I apologize. Now, let me, on the truth side, let me first of all just put in the record, my good friend from California was talking about all the groups. I have 5 times as many groups are now on record, of which many are from the state of California. I have a long list. I want to make that a part of the record, those from California, and then the 480 very thoughtful groups that are opposed to this bill. Ask unanimous consent to be a part of the record, please.
Without objection.
Yeah, you know, the waters of the United States is not just another example of regulatory overreach. I chair the Committee on Environment and Public Works. We have jurisdiction over the environmental, the EPA, and yet they don't even come in and testify when requested, and it's something that I don't think has ever happened before. This rule that we're talking about now is illegal. It's not supported by science. It's not supported by the technical experience of the Corps of Engineers. It is a political power grab. 31 states, put that chart up, 31 states filed lawsuits against the WOTUS. If we don't act to send this rule back, states, local governments, farmers, and landowners could face years of abuse by EPA until the courts inevitably strike the rule down. And believe me, it is inevitable that the rule will be overturned. I think we know that it's not just my opinion. This is the conclusion of 2 courts that have looked at this rule so far. On August the 27th, Judge Erickson of the District of North Dakota issued an injunction that prevented the WOTUS rule from going into effect in 13 states. Oklahoma, my state, was not one of the 13 states. According to Judge Erickson, and this is her quote, she said, the rule allows EPA regulation of waters that do not bear any effect on the chemical, physical, or biological integrity of any navigable, in fact, water, unquote. Now, as a result of her concluding that this rule is likely arbitrary and capricious, that means it violates the law. This is what the judge said. Now, on October 9th, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals reached the same conclusion and issued a nationwide stay on the WOTUS rule. And my committee has conducted a lot of oversights. I think we've had 6 hearings so far. We have a memoranda of the Army Corps of Engineers that document the fact that EPA is claiming the authority to assert federal control wherever they want, no matter what the science says or what the technical or legal experts of the Corps say. So what we have is a rule that is not developed based on science or technical expertise. Instead, it's based on a political goal to call everything in a water as the United States. If we look at the chart that's up right now, it's imperative that we have to act right now. This is what we're having right now is around the country. Let me make this comment. I'm very much concerned about this. The ones who want this the most are the farmers and the ranchers, a lot of other people too. But in my state of Oklahoma, I come from a farm state, and I can remember not too long ago a guy named Tom Buchanan. Tom Buchanan was is the chairman of the Oklahoma Farm Bureau, and he said, you know, historically, it's not been this way, but as it is right now, the major problem that farmers and ranchers have in my state of Oklahoma is not anything that's found in the Farm Bill. It is the overregulation of the EPA. And of all of the regulations of the EPA that are overregulating, putting farmers out of business, the one that is worse is the waters of the United States. And I'll share this with you, Mr. President. 5 years ago, I would say the liberals, those who want all the power in Washington, they made an effort to take the word navigable out. Historically, this has always been in the jurisdiction of the states, and in order to accept for navigable waters. I understand that, and everyone else does too. So Senator Feingold from the Senate and Congressman Oberstar from the House got together and they introduced a bill to take the word navigable out and give us all the power to the federal government. Not only did we defeat their legislation, but they were both defeated in the next election. So it's a huge issue. It's one of overregulation. It's one that we need to go ahead, since the courts have decided what is going to happen eventually. We need to go ahead and pass this legislation, or we're going to be working in a direction that is contrary to our court system. With that, I yield.